Sweet.
Have you done a podcast before?
Never, no.
Do you listen to them?
I do, yeah, I
Do you?
love them.
What podcasts do you normally listen to? Outdoorsy ones?
Outdoorsy ones, absolutely. Fishing, hunting, love hunting, anything reptile-wise. There's a couple of those.
Did you explain to me how you got from South Africa to here? Because I don't think we I don't think we proper
No, I
covered
don't
it.
think we did. So I had my own, when I was in South Africa, I was fortunate enough that my mom and dad worked for nature conservation, and I grew up in a national park, or in a park in South Africa. Actually ended up doing homeschooling because there weren't any schools nearby. And then had my own little guiding company because on the park was a big estuary system. So I grew up fishing there and loved the fishing and didn't know what to do when I finished school. So I was studying nature conservation and then guiding part-time. And somehow, word of mouth, Rob Scott from African Waters just phoned me out of the blue and said, listen, he's heard about me and knows I'm fishing in a similar sort of area as Gabon. Don't I want to come and give it a shot? And yeah, it was about a 2-second think about it, and that was it. I was like, I'm in. It's like Africa's last Eden. I'm there without a question.
Yeah, right. And how do you think he found you?
I actually don't know. I've never asked him. I probably should ask him. I don't think it's a secret. I think I guided a friend of his, and the friend, it was coming, Dad was approaching retirement, so I was going to have to leave the area, leave the park anyway. And I think I had chatted about that to the guy that I was guiding, and I think he spoke about Rob, and I think he passed on the info to Rob, and I think that's how it happened, but honestly, I'm not sure.
You're right. Were you guiding fishing or like
Fishing.
wildlife nature stuff?
No, mostly fishing. Did a little bit of nature stuff, turtles and things as well, but mostly fishing. So it's the same as quite a big estuary, in the northernmost estuary in South Africa. So it's like a big crystal clear water, beautiful estuary. It's almost like flats fishing, shallow white sand, big GTs. Very cool part of the world. Quite overfished now, unfortunately, but still some really good fish. So that was what it, and then quite a lot of rock and surf spinning as well, like heavy tackle off the beach, off the rocks.
Yep. And fly fishing then?
Fly fishing as well, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Quite a lot of. So I mostly did fly fishing myself, and then spinning in the surf. But I'd guide whatever. If you wanted to throw a bait or crack a shrimp for a grunter, guiding was guiding. It was
whatever people wanted to do.
Whatever people wanted. Yeah.
So then the wildlife, you got into that from your dad, and
absolutely.
He used to take you into the jungle and stuff.
Yeah. So we didn't have too much game in. It was Cozy Bay Game Reserve was a reserve that we were in. We had hippos and crocodiles and like your smaller antelope and things, but nothing too wild. But then in Dad's area was the whole of the greater St. Lucia Wetland Park, where they've got the big five, they've got everything. So we spent several days of every week in those different parks. Forever. And Dad working on the ecological side, wherever there was a research project, whether it was crocodiles or gaboon vipers or birds, he managed to get us in on the projects, which was hell of a nice for us. We learned a lot about that. Because you're doing homeschooling, mom and dad sort of decided that we'd learn a lot more going out with researchers in the field than we could possibly learn at school, even though it's a completely different thing, but more valuable to us. So we would sort of put the school a little bit back, because I only finished school when I was going on 20, but I don't regret it for a moment. For all the other stuff that we learned was irreplaceable, I think.
Do you think your mum knew that you were always going to do something like this?
I think she did, yeah. I don't think she ever tried to push us in a different direction. So nature conservation, I don't think she knew how to do guiding. I think I still would like to get into proper nature conservation, maybe one day. But yeah, I think doing this, you're sort of doing pretty much the same thing, or almost more in a lot of ways than looking after an animal somewhere. Sort of promoting the country as a whole to the outside world, so that everyone has a bit of an idea and a bit of an idea to look after it. Whereas if you haven't seen it and you don't know about it, you don't really care about it. But if you get people here and you manage to increase their enthusiasm and love for the place, then you're more likely to look after it in the long run.
True. And this is on the edge of, I can't remember the name of the reserve. What is it? Is it a national park?
Loango National Park, yeah. So we've got Loango National Park is just up there. I can't actually remember how many kilometres of park. It must be close to 100 kilometres of ocean. And then goes pretty far inland as well. It's a pretty darn big park. Gabon has I think they've got 13% of the actual country is covered in national parks, which is a pretty huge percentage, and then a large percentage of the marine area as well. So they've got really good legislation in place and protected areas.
That's good. And it's not
Very
far
good.
from the Congo, is it?
No, Congo River is 200 k's that direction, so it's just down the road. It's amazing. Yeah.
When did you get here? What year?
It was 2017,
Oh, so you've been here
2018.
almost 10 years.
So I've been here a while.
Yeah, right.
Took over from what came in with Mark Murray. He was a guide here when I came first, and I did a season and a half with him, and yeah, we carried on from there.
And when you first got here, what was your first impressions?
Yes, I didn't basically sleep for about the first 3 weeks. Was quite blown away. Just the way we arrived here, I was like, I came in the boats with the guests from Gamba and seeing, we had an estuary back home, but it's like a couple of kilometers across. It's nothing huge. And then you get here and you drive for an hour and a half in the boat, and it's just island after island after horizon to horizon, Ndogo Lagoon. It's just blown away by the size of the wilderness here, and that's not even inside the park, so that's completely outside the park, unprotected, and yet there's more wilderness and unspoiled rainforest there than I could ever imagine. So it was mind-blowing.
Did you get stuck straight into like all of the walks and like looking around here and stuff?
It took me a little bit longer to get into the walks, so I have done them all from the beginning, every opportunity I could get, because the animals and reptiles and things interest me a huge amount, as well as the fishing. So I've done them a lot, but I've only the last season or two have started doing them myself without a guide, or leading the walks as opposed to the tracker leading the walks, which I'm really enjoying. It's like a whole different aspect, and you don't, instead of guiding people onto fish, you're guiding people onto animals, which is pretty awesome. I love it.
How did you learn to do that stuff? Obviously, you had some skills already from your time with your old man and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, so Dad started off teaching us, and then I actually do quite a bit of hunting in the off season, and hunting guiding as well. When I finished school, I actually did quite a lot of problem animal control, shooting pigs and stuff, and fairly good experience and tracking and things in, and that sort of just comes into place with the walks here.
Right. And then what are some of the animals and stuff that like intrigued you here and that you sort of pursued to understand a bit more?
Probably the highest one on that list would be the dwarf crocodiles. That was like the species that I always wanted to see coming here. And I found the first stint that I did here, didn't find any. Saw a couple of eyes disappearing in the evening that were crocodiles, but didn't get a chance to go for them. And being the new junior guide, I sort of wasn't allowed any freedom to rush off and do stuff. And in the next season, I did a couple of walks in the forest by myself and found what looked just like a huge big crab hole, but under like the base of a big tree. And then like the third crab hole that I found, I've shone a torch down it, and holy cow, there was a little crocodile looking back at me. Oh, this is flipping sick. And then found one sitting just outside its burrow, managed to run, dive, got my hand down and got him by the end of the nose. Just a smaller one, but since then I've been absolutely hooked on the dwarf crocodile. This is one, so that's a big one, probably a big male. But they just a intelligent, unknown, fairly stupid, unfortunately, species that elsewhere in Africa is under serious pressure. Here you've got an incredible population of them. And very little is known about them still. It's like they're still dividing them up into different subspecies and species, and they're super, super cool.
We seen what, three or four or something, like within 30, 45 minutes?
Yeah. So when I first came here, there were definitely less. I don't know whether it was poaching pressure or hunting pressure, but you didn't ever see them in the lagoon close to camp, and certainly over the last 2 or 3 years there's a lot more. I mean, you can go where we went the other night within 600 meters of the camp and almost guarantee a couple of dwarf crocodiles, and big beautiful ones. So it's not like small ones that are not on the poaching list, but these guys have been here for a while. And the population is doing well.
Yeah, well, the second one we caught was quite large.
One. Yeah, that is. We've got them a little bit bigger than this. Like this guy was probably a little bit bigger than that. They're quite
Yeah.
formidable little animal. He's a stocky little
He
fella,
was
but they're
powerful,
strong.
man. And he was angry too. Like
Yeah.
I used to catch crocodiles for a living back in the day in Australia. We wouldn't have walked up to those ones
No,
for
they
hours.
nudged you.
Like way more angry. The smaller ones
Yeah.
maybe they're pretty
Oh,
chill,
yeah.
but like I couldn't believe how like just
Doesn't want to bite you.
they prefer just to lay still. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You can often, I mean, that's exactly it. They do lay still. So if you sneak up quietly to one, they'll usually like sink in the water in the shallows, and usually you can gently put your hands like under him and lift him, and he'll just like close his eyes and go calm. Whereas you try and do that to salty or a Nile croc,
Spin around and
it's
bite
gonna
you.
spin around and bite you.
Yeah.
He's
Well,
gonna have a go.
I treated that the first one that I caught, which was sick, just like a actual
Like you would
saltwater
a party.
crocodile.
Yeah,
Just back of the head, back of the
Yeah.
tail, boom, and
Got
grabbed it, and then it did nothing. I was
yeah.
like, oh, that was
Disappointing.
that was a bit
Absolutely.
a bit overkill. But yeah, they look like a
harmless.
caiman.
Yeah.
They resemble a caiman.
Yeah, much more. I don't know. I think it's like more of a fish eating thing, whereas with the Nile croc and stuff, they don't need that massive bite force to like squash and kill the food. They sort of grab it, drown it, and then twist pieces off it. Whereas these guys actually have to grab a fish and crush it, or grab, in their case, a lot of crabs and things,
Yeah.
like a hard carapace. So they got huge neck muscles and jaw
Yeah.
muscles. So their bite force is massive. But yeah, very differently shaped and proportioned.
Yeah, and they don't even have like that. Their teeth are very fish,
Yeah,
sort of small. Like
oriented.
even their eye tooth isn't really
Yeah,
thick.
not a massive tooth. Nothing like the proper crocodiluses,
Yeah,
crocodilians.
and is that a chimp skull?
That is indeed a chimp skull.
Yeah, right.
What
Did
do
you
you-
find these?
That one, I didn't actually find that, but one of the guards found it. There
Yeah.
are quite a few, though. We found gorilla skulls, chimp skulls, lots of monkey skulls.
Yeah, it's weird like picking up
What
a
looks
skull
like a
like this and
human
like
skull.
a humanoid. Like primates are a whole different
A
thing.
whole
Hey?
different ball game.
Did you spend a bit of time trying to like track
for
chimps
them.
down and stuff
Yeah,
like that?
Yeah, we spend. I mean, that's when people come here and do a walk. It's usually they're not too interested in the crocs. They want to chimps and gorillas are the big ones. So we do a lot of walks. Most weeks we do a walk, and it'll be oriented around the great apes, either chimps or gorillas. And they're pretty flippin' awesome.
Yeah. Have you had any? Oh, tell the story about your first gorilla interaction, because that's really cool.
It was flippin' amazing. So it was on one of the walks halfway down to the mouth. And you always go early in the morning. It's like same as fishing time. So you sort of leave camp at first light, get there just as the forest's starting to wake up. And we started our walk, started blundering. It was a small group of us. I think there were 5 of us in total. Got to a couple of 100 meters into the walk, and the tracker, Jean Alain, was like, there's something here. And we sort of looked up, and the gorillas had been sleeping in the park. We hadn't seen them. It's normally a gorilla, there'll be a couple on the ground and a couple in the trees. So we were sort of looking on the ground level, and because it was still fairly dark, hadn't looked up much. And he sort of heard a noise, and we all looked up, and there was a family of gorillas sitting above us. Didn't know we were there, so we had a few minutes with them sitting above us, and then one of the youngsters saw us and made a noise, and the females saw us and got a fright, and they sort of took off through the canopy a bit and went down, and then the big male who'd been at the back on the other side came rushing through. Like there was like shallow pools in the forest after a heavy rain the day before, so like smashing through the pools of water, ran up to 6 or 7 meters. That felt like it was like right here. And then he stopped, beat his chest, and then just like turned to the side and he like looked at each one of us in the eyes. It's a unbelievable animal. It's like it's just to look into a gorilla's eyes at a few meters, knowing he could just pop your head off like that if he wanted to. If he doesn't want to, you can see he doesn't want to, but he also is like, you come a little bit closer and I will be forced to do this, and then you're going to be in trouble. And he just sort of circled back again, sat down for a bit, waited for his family to move off, and then he quietly got up and off he went. It was like
Unreal.
mind-blowing.
That's crazy. And what species of gorilla are there here?
It's a lowland gorilla. I think it's
Yeah.
a western lowland gorilla. So it's basically, everyone says, oh, that's like a much smaller species, but it's almost identical. It hasn't got quite as much of a silver back as the Highland gorillas, but size-wise, very, very similar characters-wise. So they're a lot more arboreal, where I think the Highland gorillas are mostly in like dense bushy vegetation as opposed to high canopy trees. So here these ones spend a lot of time up in the canopy, especially the youngsters and the females, whereas the other ones are often more on the ground.
They're out of the tree line a bit at the northern like the highland
Yeah.
gorillas, hey?
Yeah. So they move up into the fields and things to graze on the gingers and the bamboo or whatever else they're munching. Here they're eating mostly fruit, berries, and
What are the gorillas here feeding? Because you did show me a couple of those plants.
there's a wild ginger. So in the dry season, a lot of the wild ginger, they just eat the inside of the stem of it, peel the leaves off. You'll find like a patch in the wild ginger where you can see he's been sitting, and then it's just a big pile of ginger leaves and stems like this, and he like carefully sits there and he peels off the edges, chows the middle, grabs the next one, plucks it off. It's like the most civilized thing to watch eat, and he like sits there on his butt, and he just like sits there and he like peels it carefully, jumps it, and it's like it's so cool.
Yeah, it's like the human similarities to primates is crazy.
Flipping the spot on, yeah.
Yeah. And then the chimps, are they interactive as well, or?
The chimps they're starting to get a bit tamer. Like we have fairly good sightings. You see chimps more often than the gorillas, but often more of a fleeting. A chimp's he's quite a scared thing. So they panic usually when they realize that you're there, or if you give them a fright, and then they'll like rush off quite quickly. But now we had some amazing sightings this year. We spent like almost an hour with a family of them, and they were just sitting above us. There happened to be a fruiting tree there, and we got in without them knowing we were there. And I think there's actually another group just beyond them, so they're like interacting with that group and keeping an eye in that direction. They saw we were there, but they didn't care too much about it. They were more interested in the other ones. And it's like probably close to an hour we sat basically under them, and they were carrying on. But I'm a lot more nervous around the chimps than the gorillas. I think the gorilla doesn't want to kill you. The chimp is sort of looking for an excuse to do something you don't want to. It's not a great thing.
I've heard chimpanzees are pretty violent.
Very
Male
violent.
chimpanzees.
Yeah, the locals are terrified of them. Like,
really?
Even if you drive past in the car, they literally will wind up the window and they don't want anything to do with the chimps. They say if you raise a baby gorilla, it'll be like part of the family. He'll treat you as a family. If you raise a baby chimp, male or female, it will come of age and it will kill you. There's not a maybe if, it's going to try and take you out.
Really?
Yeah, a nasty animal.
I've seen I can't remember where it was in Africa, but a long time ago, the chimps that chase the monkeys.
Oh yeah, eating those mangabees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that Congo somewhere?
I think that's in the Congo. I'm pretty sure these ones do it as well.
Yeah.
I've never seen it, but certainly when the chimps come into an area, the monkeys get the heck out of there. They're not hanging around waiting. There's actually an incident, I think it was the beginning of last year, with one of the habituated groups of gorillas in the north of the park. I think it was a small group of gorillas, like 7 or 9 or something, and a big troop of chimps actually took on the gorillas and killed one of the youngsters. Just killed it.
Just because. It's like a lion and hyena type thing.
Absolutely. Yeah, competing for the resources. And it's just, there's more of us, we're going to take you
Right.
on. Yeah.
Yeah, right. That doesn't surprise me. But that's crazy shit.
Yeah.
And how did you, did you spend time by yourself with the trackers and stuff when you first got here?
Yeah, quite
So you
a bit
learned
of
shit
time.
tons.
And then just every free afternoon or morning that you get, straight out into the forest and take a GPS so you don't die there, but try and get out and find what you can. The trackers are great, and especially mammals wise, they're really, really good. Mammals and trees, but not very interested in the snakes and things,
Frogs
as
and
are
lizards.
most native people. But yeah, so just spending a huge amount of time with them, learning the areas, and then by myself or with other guys. Ed Truter, I've been lucky enough to spend quite a lot of time with him here as well. He's incredibly knowledgeable on most of the aspects, whether it's fauna, flora, whatever. So yeah, I've learned a hell of a lot from him as well.
Ed's name gets thrown around a fair bit, and he's a Safa too, yeah.
He's a Safa.
Yeah. What's his? He's on my list to catch up with eventually too.
Yeah, a champion.
He's done some stuff. Jaco explained it to me as he's one of the people that if you go to this brand new place that no one's ever seen before, Ed Truder's probably been there.
He's probably been there twice, and he'll tell you what lure to throw on, what tide, where to throw it, how to retrieve it, what color one you must use, what you must look for in the weather before you go. Yeah, just a super technical fellow. Like like to the utmost detail. He's like really, really sharp and interested. I think he's just so incredibly interested in everything, whether it's fishing or hunting or birding or trees. He just wants to know everything, and I think has learned a huge amount of it. But very humble fellow as well. He's not an arrogant chap. He's like, if you disagree with him, he'll always listen to what you have to say and research it. And yeah, he's like not someone that puts you in your place, which is quite nice when you're a youngster trying to learn stuff. It's like
Yeah.
That's cool.
It is good that people are like that, like that are
Absolutely.
willing to share knowledge.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it shows like
Oh,
that you're a strong
a
mental,
character.
strong character when you can do that. You can take
Absolutely.
criticism or
Yeah.
someone
Yeah.
disagreeing
Yeah.
with you without getting fired up and stuff.
Even though you know a million times more than the fellow that's asking it, but yeah, well, in
Yeah.
each case,
Yako speaks very highly of him too. I think
yeah,
I've heard his name and seen his stuff around the place, and he's definitely. I was like actually hoping what I should have done was hang around a bit longer, and I should have flown
get
to
him into
Joburg
camp.
after,
Yeah,
and or got him into or met him at camp at
should
some
have got him
stage or
in
something,
camp.
and had a chat to him. But
Must
I'll
flip the next time you can.
yeah,
We'll get him
I'll
in
definitely
here.
be back here because there's so much stuff I want to tick off already.
Lovely.
Actually, what we probably should do is can you explain where we are and what it looks like geographically and stuff
Sure.
for people listening?
So we basically, if you look at Africa, we are in the armpit of Africa. That little corner at the bottom there, sort of between halfway and 2/3 of the way up the continent, bordering. Forgotten the name of the country at the top. Wait.
Yeah, there's a lot of there's a lot of countries here with
countries.
tiny countries with
Yeah,
names that I
like
just
Togo, Senegal, Ivory Coast, just Cameroon and shit. Sorry about that. I've completely
No, that's all
forgotten
right.
what the name of it is.
Kyle
And
will
then
look it up.
Congo on the bottom. Yeah, Kyle can look it up.
Yeah, Kyle's on it.
Yeah, so we basically on the equator. So the equator is halfway between us and Libreville, or 2/3 of the way towards Libreville. We in that equatorial belt of rainforest, which is the second biggest rainforest left in the world. Yeah, right there.
And then Sette Cama itself, what's it like geographically, from a top bird's eye view, I guess?
So it's the second biggest lagoon in Africa. So there's basically what people think is you're fishing a river. You're not fishing a river. You're fishing a drainage. It's a huge, big depression in the land, which is filled up with water with a bunch of little islands in it, or big islands in it, which is probably 80, 90 kilometers long by 30 kilometers wide maybe, so it's a really big mass of water. But there's one little river that comes in, the Rembo Bongo, which flows season round, but it's a small little river, and then otherwise it just is rain. So it's a offlow, whatever you call it, seepage coming out after a thunderstorm, fills up and then flows out. So it's not like it's a river flowing all the time. It's just we call it a lagoon here. So it fills with the tide, and the tide pushes pretty high up in the dry season especially. So you get like salt flowing 30, 25 kilometers up the river. And then rainy season it's flowing out most of the time. So we've had a couple of dry seasons now, which has made the fishing a little bit hit and miss. But yeah, on a good rainy season between September and April, May, the fishing is phenomenal because of that. Every storm, there's a storm building up now as we speak. You should get a big storm every second or third day at least. Yeah.
And is the mouth of the lagoon where it flows into the ocean, is that the only mouth for this lagoon?
That's the only mouth. Yeah. So from where we are, the ocean is 300 meters in that direction. We're right on the lagoon, and then that sand spit runs down for 16 kilometers to the mouth. So where we go down in the evening and fish there, and that is the only lagoon to the whole, the only mouth to the whole thing. It's almost like it's hit a move down, because you can see where there used to be old mouths in the past, and then it's like hit a bit of we call it the mountain, but it's just like a hill thing at the mouth itself, and then it seems to have stopped there, and it's flowing out on that rocky point.
And I guess that's why it's so fishable too. It's just because it's a bottleneck for everything.
Absolutely, it's like when the snapper are spawning early season, all the snapper from that massive big lagoon are coming through that little mouth. So it's not like you're fishing for the same fish every day that are sitting there residentially. You're fishing for tens of thousands of snapper that are passing by every tide. It's an incredible fishery. The amount of mullet and things here, when the mullet decide to run, you can almost walk on them. It's like, they're not living in this area, they're living upstream, but they've all got to get out to the ocean
to spawn or something, do they?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
So most of our tarpon and things come for the mullet. It's like either the mullet or the sardine, but usually the mullet, and that's triggered by spring tide, which is what we just had now, or a really big rain. So if you can get either one of those occurrences and you get a mullet run, fishing's on.
There was a few last night. Like it's been hard
Yes.
over the equinox, like those really big tides, and then the
Yeah,
last
yeah.
couple of days it's been like a little bit like
Better.
you shine your head torch on the water, and there's a fair bit of mullet
Yeah,
jumping around
yeah.
and
So
stuff.
that's exactly what you want.
Yeah.
So you want it like you hear at night. It's just like you're just fluttering.
Yeah.
So you shine the torch, and it's just a mat of mullet all over the surface.
Yeah, and there's that doesn't make the fishing hard when there's mullet that much bait.
It does make it hard because exactly there's a bit too much bait. But so those fish, the mullet being a mullet, sits right at the surface. So all you got to do is swing something slightly below the mullet, and everything's waiting there to come up and munch the mullet. And even though it's pretty shallow, so the whole lagoon mouth is, if it's 3 meters, it's a lot. But if your mullet is sitting in the first 10 centimeters and everything else sitting in the bottom, and you're swinging below the mullet, you got a flipping good chance. Lures wise, we often find we struggle a little bit more when there's a lot of mullet around. I think the lures don't mimic a mullet as well as a nicely presented fly. But the fly, if there's a lot of mullet around and you put a fly in and get it to the right depth, you're in the money. Yeah.
And the tarpon here seems so much nastier than the States ones. They're just big and deep,
Chunky things.
and dark, like
that golden sheen, big black shoulders.
it's crazy, man.
Yeah. And also, I think there's a big current as well. So it's like, I think they're used to fighting that current the whole time. It's like a trout that you catch in a river compared to the trout you catch in still water. These fish are fighting that current the whole time. Even if you go offshore, there's a huge current flowing south to north. So these fish are fit. And just strong as well as having the current to use to their advantage. They physically fit fish. They're strong, big fish. They're not just cruising around the mangroves munching stuff.
It pumps here too, the current, man.
It
blows my
the
mind.
current's absolutely phenomenal. Yeah. And yet those fish will feed in that current. It's like, I would never have thought fishing back home. The current gets like it. Don't even consider it. And yeah, that current's what you want. So if you can. And you literally have to put your fly out and almost run down the beach stripping so that it doesn't just wash like that. And yet the fish are there and they're feeding.
It's crazy. And like it's one of the few places you can catch big cubera or land-based. Which is
land-based West African cuberas. Probably. I mean, you used to get them all over the West African coast. You still get a couple. Angola, they get a few. Senegal, I think there's a very few. But here we've got a really good population. I think we've got quite a lot of offshore reefy stuff, which holds a huge number of them, and then the big protected areas offshore. So those fish aren't living at the mouth. They're coming when you get a good rain or a mullet run. They come in to hunt in that mouth. But you can, to get a 35, 40 kilo fish isn't uncommon. And that on a fly off the sand is just phenomenal.
That's fucking wild.
Do you
fish much here yourself? Like obviously you had to fish it sort of and learn it and stuff like that. But did you fish much yourself?
So when I started, I was lucky in that so African Waters didn't used to own the lodge. We used to just get the weeks from the French couple that was had the lease. So I would come and I'd stay then over the whole season, but a lot of the weeks weren't our weeks. So then I could go along and just take photos, but fish at the same time. So it wasn't my guests; they were Eric's guests, but I was able to go and fish with them. I was very lucky in that I got to fish quite a few good weeks in like prime time. So
right. What's some memorable catches?
My first tarpon was super memorable. I got probably still the biggest one I ever got. The guests were all fishing in the prime spots. And I was just disappeared by myself up the beach a little bit, throwing a shiver stick in the surf, and lost 11 in a row, and then got the 12th one and got it onto the shallows and was holding it there and flashing my light for someone to come and take a photo for me, and it actually snapped off in the end, and the lure came out and it flopped back and got away before I got a photo. But it was like a 90 kilo fish. It was quite a thing. So it was amazing. And then probably I got a really big cubera, so we measured it and got a girth on it. It was 48 kilos on the conversion, so it's still the biggest one that I've seen here.
Wow.
That was just fishing a big stick bait in the current. Hooked what I thought was a shark, put the absolute brakes on as tight as I could, almost spooled me, and I ended up actually just grabbing the spool, thinking it was still a shark, to try and snap it off, and it didn't ever snap off, and turned, and 30 minutes later, got it into the shallows. Absolute tank of a fish. No, it was a sinking stick bait.
Just subsurface. Still though, Jesus. I bet if you could have seen it, the boil would have been incredible.
It was when it's like 2/3 of the when it started coming in, it was just like late sunset, so it was still like that golden sheen, like a smooth day, and it came up and rolled on the surface, and I saw the tail come out. I nearly shat myself. It was like the tail on that thing was like that wide. And I was like, holy shit, what the hell have I hooked?
That's crazy.
Oh, it was beautiful.
That's crazy, man. Do you find you get just as much enjoyment about putting clients on the fish now?
Probably way more enjoyment.
Really?
Yeah. No, I still like, if the fishing's really tough, then I find myself wanting to like fish and have a go to try and work it out. But if the fishing's decent, I would much rather get someone else to catch. Watching people that have, especially like a lot of our guests, they've heard about Gabon and they've been planning to come here, and because there's a bit of a waiting list, it often takes a little bit of time for them to get a slot. For them to finally get here and experience what they've been hearing and dreaming about. If you can be a small part of getting them to catch that fish, there's nothing better. It's like, no.
I've never seen anything like it. From my perspective, like some of the shit that even this is shit we've done like together, you and I. That's not even fishing. Like the hippos on the beach thing's probably
That's pretty awesome.
Like, very
absolutely awesome.
Like I should be up on anyone's list to do that walk.
Yeah.
Painful walk,
especially on the high tide.
Yeah, especially on the high tide.
You might get killed by the elephant. But,
actually, we should probably tell that story. It's like I may as well.
Yeah,
the injury and everything.
Injuries.
Jaco shared the videos of the. I got a spine of a palm frond under my toenail. And you pulled it out for me, and Jaco filmed it. He put it on my Instagram, Instagram, and I shared it on my stories. My fucking inbox blew up. Like,
oh really?
The amount of people, that loved it. But it was cool. It's basically like, actually, you should probably tell it. It's a bit better.
So the big wildlife factor here is obviously the hippos surfing. So there's a lagoon 6.5 km down the beach from the mouth. So you take a boat down early morning, try and leave camp like 3:30, 4 o'clock, get to the mouth at like 4:30, and then you do a quick march 6.5 km down the beach to be at that lagoon at first light. And then the hippos have been, so in the evening the hippos come from that little lagoon into the ocean, swim up with the tide, climb out onto some grassy slopes, graze on those grassy slopes, and then during the early morning to till like half an hour after first light, they then go back into the ocean and then climb back out into the lagoon. And seeing the hippos surfing down the waves and climbing out into the lagoon, you don't see it anywhere else. So it's a huge feature. It's a heck of a walk, but it's a long walk, but it's worth doing.
It was crazy though. Like we saw so much shit on that walk. Like literally ticked nearly all the boxes, minus the Red River hogs, which
the only thing we didn't see was the Red River hogs.
Yeah. So like we basically took down to the mouth, jumped out. Walked through the high tide, trudging through into the sand, above ankle, shin deep sand.
Yeah,
because you can't walk on the high tide line because it's water up to your bloody chest. Walked up and got, as soon as we got on that bit of like grassy bit, I kicked that fucking palm frond. And mind you, we're walking barefoot in the dark. We had to beat.
And you didn't have a torch either. So
I didn't.
It was definitely it.
I don't know why it didn't cross my mind. I'm an idiot because like we had to be. We left here at 4 o'clock.
Left here 4:45. Yeah.
Yeah, 4:45. Yeah, and we had to get there.
Light at 6.
Yeah, so we had to be there before daylight.
Yeah.
To catch the hippos walking in.
Exactly.
But, literally kicked it within the first 500 meters of leaving.
And you're even like, I think I hurt my foot a little bit, and there was like no sign, so I thought it was fine, and then hobbled on.
It got worse over time, but literally like walked past, saw that. You literally said that there was a buffalo bull.
Oh yeah,
the buffalo bull with a broken leg, and then literally walked around the corner, and here's this buffalo bull with the broken leg walking straight towards us. Saw him at what, 20 meters?
Yeah, probably not even.
Not even that.
Meters, no.
And you had to sort of spook him off because he was just going to walk on top of us.
What
While we're on the buffalo, because it's a different species of buffalo that I didn't know existed. What are they?
It's forest buffalo. So it's just like a much smaller species compared with the savanna buffalo or the one that you get back home. But much smaller, redder, droopy ears, suited for the thick, tight forests. Beautiful little animal, and a very healthy population of them here. But you don't see like big groups of them like you see of the Cape buffalo. Like here, if you see 10 of them, it's like a really big group. But it's like there's also not much grazing for them, so there's a pretty distributed, or like widely distributed, I don't know how it's a sparsely distributed population of buffalo. So you don't find a bunch of them grazing in this area. You walk and you'll find one, and that spot there with the grass on those slopes, same areas where the hippos are grazing, is one of the key spots for them because of the grass. It's like the only grass in the area, so a very good chance of finding them there.
Yeah, it was incredible to see that one up close, and then like we kept walking. Then it was Frank.
Then it was Frank, yeah.
And literally, like, I'll try and explain it. It's like the ocean swell comes onto the beach, and then there's like a sand lip up onto like vegetation and grass, and then it goes.
Like,
yeah, it's like a
meter.
Probably as high as this table, maybe.
Yeah.
And then it goes up onto grass, and then the grass goes into like, what is that stuff? Mangroves.
Yeah, it's like mangroves and palms,
bushes and shit. Yeah. And Frank's laying on the edge of that lip, asleep.
Yeah.
With his head
asleep.
Yeah, literally his head, like his feet, like his ass is up the hill, and his head's sort of the top of his. We're looking at the top of his head, basically, on our right.
His tusks looking like.
Literally, like 10 meters.
Yeah, they're just right there.
Like you turn, you're like, oh fuck,
there's
and you're like, that's Frank. And then I didn't know who Frank was, so Frank's laying there asleep, and you moved us on pretty quick. Cause
I know. If he'd woken up then, it would have been a very unpleasant walk.
Tell the story of Frank.
Yeah, so then Frank is he's been here since I've been here. He's a really probably the biggest bull that's in the area. He's always got it out for people. Like since my first trip here, he's been a grumpy bugger. And like he knows if he sees you walking down the beach, he will hunt you. Then he'll see you go past, or he'll smell that you've been past, and he'll then wait. And he knows you're coming back again. There's only one way. So it's like you could see when we were down there, we went and sat and waited for the hippos, and you could see him stand up, sort of wake up and yawn in the morning, and then you could see he could smell something like, there's been people here this morning, let me just sit and wait. And he waited for 2.5 hours for us to then come back past again, and
yeah, he was a jerk.
He was a bit of a jerk.
It was funny because where we were sitting was like, how far was it away from that? 2 k's?
And a bit, probably kilometre
and a half. 1 or 2 k's, yeah. It was and then you could just see him pop up out of on the point. It was crazy. I've got a pretty cool photo of that actually.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and then we kept walking. Then you caught a mongoose.
I forgot about the mongoose.
Yeah, I saw that till I looked on my phone and saw the video of you caught a mongoose by the tail.
That doesn't happen often.
No,
the mongoose
they're nasty little critters, man.
They're very nasty. Yeah,
angry as.
They're awesome. We had one of those mongooses as a pet for quite a few years. Incredible pet, but the bite force in that little mongoose is, you don't want to mess with that thing.
Because they eat snakes and shit.
Yeah, crabs and all sorts of things. They can do some damage. It's actually quite a big water mongoose, like a meter and a bit. So he's a chunky blaster.
Yeah.
So there's that, and then the hippos, and then the mangabees.
We saw the mangabees. We got to the Hippo Lagoon, the crossing before daylight. We saw one come through out of the surf, but it was too dark. Too dark to film. And then did you hear the mangabees or you see them?
I saw them because Dave walked a little bit up to take photos of the ghost crabs or something, and then I actually just looked at Dave and I saw the mangabees in the background in those palm trees.
Eating the palm
munching,
Yeah, so we got up and ran back, walked back a little bit, a couple hundred meters?
A couple hundred meters to get some photos of them.
Yeah, filmed and photographed those dudes, which was cool. And then literally turned around and you're like, oh fuck, there's a hippo like that just got out of the surf. So ran back there. I got footage of it, which was sick.
Well, it was a good sprint on the beach with it. Toe.
And then which was sick. And then it was a bloody
Frank.
Yeah, then it was Frank. We walked past him on the sand because he wouldn't step down over the edge. Maybe because he'd sink or hurt himself.
Yeah, so especially if an elephant's being aggressive, he doesn't want to lower himself because then he's like not as powerful. So if he's got a little bit of a bank above you, he's generally going to stay on that bank. And the sand's also soft, so he doesn't want to sink in the soft sand. So you feel like I think it's a little bit of a false sense of security often, but if you've got that little bit of a bank, you feel safe at least. And he didn't come down at this time.
Nah, and was able to get some incredible photos from like 10 meters, less than 10 meters in front of him, which is crazy. There's a photo of you there, like in frame. Frank's like flared up, flicking sand,
horrible thing,
10 meters apart. And then you're looking down the beach, like casually looking at something else, and Frank's like standing there, he's like, I'm going to kill you, motherfucker. And then Frank tried to walk down and get us to go to that flat spot where there's grass.
He kept going there. It's like he could get onto the beach.
Yeah, I feel like if we left too early when we were going to, he would have come onto the beach.
100%, yeah. And that's on like that hard, rocky, shallow section there, so he would have 100%. But it's like people say, oh, you're aggravating the animals. You're not aggravating the animals. That animal will come and aggravate you wherever you are. So that is the best place that you can possibly meet him, because then he can have his charge and be all dominant and get it over with. And then he saw after like 45 minutes,
he got bored.
Got bored of it and moved off.
And then we snuck off. But you can see like how powerful he is. He's like, they're not as big as not as big as the Africanus, but still like a huge, big animal.
Yeah. So the cars are probably half the size on average. He is one of the biggest bulls I've ever seen here. There's 2 big bulls. He's the biggest I've seen. And he's probably the only one, him and maybe that other one, that actually shake those big palm trees. So the other ones are all too small, but he's big enough to go up, and he puts his nose up against a palm tree and pushes and pushes and pushes, and finally all the nuts fall down. So he's a tank of an animal.
Yeah,
Beautiful ivories.
Yeah, he's got beautiful big symmetrical
so stunning,
tusks and stuff.
Tannin red. It's beautiful.
I've got some incredible photos. You guys are going to be spoiled with the shit that we send
all over the walls.
Literally. I'm going to do I can't remember if I said it to Yako, but I'm going to do a photo book.
Oh, nice.
I'll do a print. I think you can get like a minimum print of 100, so I'll post a couple here, and you can all have a copy and stuff. It'd be epic. Or I'll bring them personally, bring them back.
There we go, even better. Yeah.
Which would be sick.
Just change it for a tarpon or something.
That sounds good to me. Yeah. That sounds very good to me. I had a bit of a fish. I didn't do too much, but because we were working so much. Yeah. But it was just cool to see other people catching fish
absolutely.
Too. Just back on Frank really quickly, because he's trampled a few people,
So Frank apparently flattened a hunter, like it was 3 years ago. I think it was a year after COVID, so 2021. They were hunting in the forest, and the story, speaking to the locals, was that
you're okay if you've got to come. It's all good.
That the locals he was just hunting, he wasn't doing anything wrong, and ran into the elephant and it squashed him. But the story was that this guy was actually hunting elephants, which he definitely should not have been, and got flattened. So there wasn't too much sympathy for him. But then last year he came into, so he spends quite a lot of time in this area, and he was in the area at the time and decided he had it out for the locals in the village here, and flattened our one skipper's house and the chef's house in the village. But just like while they were sleeping in the house at night, would pull in and just like squash the house on top of the people inside. No one died there, luckily, but there's like he doesn't like people.
Wonder what happened to him. Maybe like
heaven knows. He's got one. His left eye is, if not blind, very jeopardized. And then he's got quite a big tear in his left ear. So whether that was people or there used to be one elephant that they say is the same one that was at the Gamba airport, which is where you guys flew into, that used to come and cause trouble on the airfield. And I imagine he got chased off quite harshly quite a few times, and then apparently came down here, and that might be why he has it out for people. And I was like, this is my area now, I'm going to chase you off like you used to do that to me. So
he's definitely claimed it. It was cool though, because just to be, I don't know, I'm one of those people that are like, I have caught a lot of wildlife, and I was very similar to you, I guess. And then I was way more excited than scared.
Oh yeah, just like an adrenaline rush of
dying. But it was cool. Like I got some of the most incredible footage and photos I've ever taken in my life there. Which was epic. On a very big mature animal too, which was cool.
Yeah, and it is super dangerous, but at least we did still have that. If he did come down, we could have run into the ocean and lose the cameras and stuff. But he's not gonna doggy paddle after you, hopefully. And but he has before. So before, he's actually a little bit further up from where we had him. He's chased us into the waves and kept us up to our necks in the waves all the way back to basically the boats. So it's like a long 2-hour walk in the water with an elephant standing on the bank. So he comes down that bank as well. Nasty chap. Horrible thing.
And we touched on this in your interview too, but like you mentioned that when you come here, like Gabon gets into your blood, I guess.
Hugely.
Yeah. You so you go home and then you're sort of looking to come straight back.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like the hours and things here are pretty tough on the body, because you're fishing a lot of really late nights, early mornings, sleeping short windows in the night and in the day to try and get as many hours sleep as you can. So it's like, even though it's not massive physical work, it's tiring, and by the end of the season you're quite done. But give it a week back home again, and all I want to do is come back to Gabon again. It's I end up speaking French to the guys back home again. It's like horrendous French as it is, but
Get you by.
it gets me by. But yeah, it's an incredibly special place. It's there's nowhere you try and explain it to people, unless you've been like, I was like, oh, what's it like when there's lots of fish around? And it's like, when the fish are at the mouth and there's a lot of fish at the mouth, you literally cannot. It's like someone's taken several container loads of fridges and is dropping those fridges constantly into the little lagoon mouth. It's flipping, exploding, tarpon flying on top and landing on the beach, snapper beaching themselves, bull sharks. I've seen 5 bull sharks at once, separate bull sharks, up stranded on the beach, busy chasing fish. It's just phenomenal.
The sharks are crazy.
The sharks are. Jeez, the sharks are an issue.
Yeah, well, we lost one of the sharks last one, which is good.
It's horrible, but it happens. I mean, it's nature. It's a sign of a healthy fishery is to have sharks around.
But then again, you do land a lot of fish too. Like there was only like 1 or 2 shark dramas really, like out of a lot of fish that were caught.
Yeah. So it's usually like the beginning of a session, you'll lose a couple of fish, often jacks, because I think the jacks like panic more than the other fish and like grunt a little bit in the water, and then the sharks come and char them, and then they get full and before the current gets too strong, and then you got a good chance. If we lose like more than 3 or 4 fish in a row, we generally stop the session. So, try and just leave them. But man, it's
you nature. Love your shark fishing anyway.
Oh, we do. Everyone who comes here is like, oh no, they're just spinning or they're just fly fishing, but then someone will like take the
it happened 3 or 4 times.
Just swim a bait and someone watches like, can I do that tomorrow? Like, absolutely. And then by the end of the week, everyone's fighting with a shark rod. I mean, it's the ultimate predator here. It's like bring the tarpon, catch a big bull shark. He's eating the tarpon. That's
that one Yako's old man caught was monster. And so was the one that Yako caught too.
Yeah. And they're beautiful animals. Like, so they come in early season. They come in to pup at the river mouth, so you get a lot of big females. This time of year, you're getting a mixture of females and males. But some huge fish. We got a couple of guests that only come for the shark. Not interested in anything else. Just sharks.
Wow.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, in Australia, like it's a few people do the shark fishing stuff, and like young kids are doing it, like with like whole chickens. Like
no ways.
Chook, like a chook from a servo, like a supermarket, like an uncooked chook.
Really.
And hooks on that, and like under jetties and beside bridges and shit like that.
Yeah.
But I think there's a lot of younger kids doing like the shark catching culture stuff, and I'd say there would be a community of people that would do it in Australia. But it's not really a thing. Like
that's interesting.
Yeah, people don't like shark fishing competitions like Yako's old man does. Like, not a thing. I don't think. Not to my knowledge, anyway.
That's with South Africa. I think probably because there's less edible fish to fish for. Like that's what we fish for is sharks, but it's super popular. Like shark fishing is the ultimate.
Yeah,
it's cool.
You got native sharks too, like raggies and stuff.
Raggies, lots of black tips, also bull sharks, bronze whalers. Yeah, we got some nice sharks back home.
Man, too much pulling for me.
No, it is.
Too long a fight, too much pulling.
Yeah, no, myself as well.
It's cool to watch.
That's an epic.
We just smashed out an hour, man.
Happy days. An hour.
That was just over an hour.
That's awesome.
It goes quick, eh? It goes quick.
Oh, it's interesting.
It's been it was, man. It is. Like I find I learned, like, because we've spent a fair bit of time together over this trip. Like I've learned so much just from hanging out with you stuff, and just like I'm one of those people that I do ask a lot of questions, but I also watch.
Sensible. That's the best way to learn.
Yeah, just watch how you do things and what you're doing. Yeah, and you learn so much doing that sort of stuff too. That's awesome. Like, do you think you'll guide here for a fair bit longer?
I think so. So I think I'm probably going to maybe limit the number of months that I'm out here now. I'll do shorter stints, but definitely for the foreseeable future, going to carry on. Can't leave it behind now. And it's also like I've watched it. I've watched the fishery and the lodge and everything grow. So now to detach myself from that, it's like, well, this is what I've been trying to build up for the last. Exactly. It's not undone, but you hand it on to someone else. It's like, literally. So I'm going to carry on.
No, we're very grateful, man. Like for all of the help that you guys have given us too, as well. Like you've made everything for us so much easier. Like we try and be as little as least needy as possible, but
extremely unneedy.
But no, I just appreciate all the time you've taken to show us stuff. And we're about to go down this afternoon if we don't get pissed on the rain.
Looks like it's moving.
It looks like it's some crazy storms here.
Yeah, we get some good ones.
To see a colony of African grey parrots, which is like, for me, is incredible, because like they're the ones you see, for people that don't know, is
angling
like
in the cage,
literally talking shit, like the ones that talk, the grey ones with the little bit of red on their tail, and talking and dancing and stuff like that you see on like Australia's Got Talent.
Exactly.
But there's a colony here, correct?
Yeah. So it's not really a colony; it's like a roosting colony. So all the parrots from the area come and sleep on the one island.
Okay.
So now it's not quite. So they're still breeding a little bit at the moment. So a couple of the pairs will still be out in the forest, or quite a few of the pairs. There'll probably be between 500 and 1,500 birds coming to that colony tonight. Like early season, before they're nesting, you can have upwards of 2,500 of these things squawking and circling. It's an incredible spectacle.
That's crazy. And they're like cool. Heavily trafficked,
yeah. So they're completely protected in Gabon. There's you wouldn't be allowed to have one as a pet in the country, definitely not exporting it. But a lot of that went on in the past, and I think the Congo probably still goes on to a huge extent in the other countries around about. But here you can come to Libreville, land in the airport, go to Tropicana, and there flies a pair of African greys over.
I've seen a few of them at Tropicana too. I think I've seen a fair few here over the first couple of days, so that'll be cool. But some of the wildlife shit that we've seen, I got to handle an African rock python, I caught a dwarf crocodile, I saw
rhinoceros viper,
hippos crossing the beach.
There we go.
I've had a fucking ball.
It's not bad.
Man. Thank you so much for your time, man. I would definitely will be back, I think.
That'll be awesome.
Or I'll be doing some other trip somewhere in Cameroon.
Cameroon's a good one.
45 degrees in the shade.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
That'll be epic.
Sounds good. I appreciate your time, man. Thank you so much.
Thanks, mate. Great, man.
We are. Yeah, we are. Definitely.
Sound from the background. Lovely.
Thank you so much, my friend.
Cool. Thank you, mate.
Bye, everybody.
Man. Cheers.
That was cool.
Alrighty.
Yeah. Oh, fuck, it's not recording.
Oh, shove it up your bunghole.